At the end of World War II, Operation Paperclip was launched by the Office of Strategic Services, the OSS, to smuggle known Nazi war criminals into the United States for recruitment into U.S. intelligence agencies. The Nazis were cleared to work in America after having their backgrounds bleached by the military. False employment histories were provided, and their previous Nazi affiliations were completely removed from the record. The OSS provided a model for the Central Intelligence Agency that was established in September 1947. The CIA specialized in propaganda, economic warfare, sabotage, and demolition. By the early 1950s, they controlled over 25 newspapers and wire agencies and had 3,000 plus employees engaged in propaganda. Journalists willing to promote the views of the CIA included members of the New York Times, Time Magazine, Newsweek, The Washington Post, and CBS Television.
So that was just a part of a video that my good friend Darren McBreen put together talking about the shocking history of the CIA. Darren, what can you tell us about that? Any more?
Well, we know from the very beginning of the creation of television and then to the creation of the CIA that they infiltrated the news media, and they've been basically using your TV set as one big giant propaganda tool for a long time, right? And we're going to take a look at some clips from the past as well as how the news media is manipulating you now, present day.
Well, I just want to say this. Why do you think they call it programming?
That's right. It is television programming, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a look. The first clip I want to show you, this goes all the way back to 1991. And this was when a young girl, she testified before Congress. Millions of people saw this this was broadcast to millions of people all across the nation. This was instrumental in getting the U.S. public to back a war in Iraq.
I was there. I saw the Iraqi soldiers come into the hospital with guns. They took the babies out of the incubators. Took the incubators and left the children to die on the cold floor.
And little did we know, she wasn't just a hospital volunteer or worker as she claimed to be. She was actually the niece of an ambassador?
Ambassador to Kuwait to the United States. And so that was one big giant lie. But, you know,
don't let a lie stop you there.
No, we found out years later that she was actually hired by a PR firm from New York. And they gave her acting lessons, right? So she was a 15-year-old girl. She testified before Congress. And I'll never forget it because, like I said, millions of us watched this on TV, and we were shocked and horrified that Saddam Hussein's Iraqi Republican Guard was dumping babies out of incubators and onto the bloody streets.
Yeah, it was horrible. But don't let that stop George Bush from taking that story and running with it. Let's go to that clip.
They had kids in incubators, and they were thrown out of the incubators so that Kuwait could be systematically dismantled.
So old man Bush was just taking a line from Rahm Emanuel of never letting a good crisis go to waste. And now we have new Bush, I guess back in 2001 or 2, 3,
This was
4.
right around 2003.
Okay.
George W. Bush, he used to like to use VNRs, video news releases.
Right.
Now, this was news packages that were produced by the Pentagon, and they were passed over to television studios or television all across the United States, and they would use it as actual news stories.
President, earlier this year you told us you had ordered your administration to cease and desist on payments to journalists to promote your agenda. You cited the need for ethical concerns and the need for a bright line between the press and the government. Your administration continues to make the use of video news releases, which are prepackaged news stories sent to television stations, fully aware that some or many of these stations will air them without any disclaimer that they are produced by the government. Comptroller General of the United States this week said that raises ethical questions. Does it raise ethical questions about the use of government money to produce stories about the government that wind up being aired with no disclosure that they were produced by the government?
There is a Justice Department opinion that says these pieces are within the law so long as they're based upon facts, not advocacy. And I expect our agencies to adhere to that ruling, to that Justice Department opinion. This has been a long-standing practice of the federal government to use these types of videos. Agricultural Department, as I understand, has been using these videos for a long period of time. The Defense Department, other departments have been doing so. It's important that that they be based upon the guidelines set out by the Justice Department. Now, I think it'd be helpful if local stations then disclose to their viewers if that's, that this was based upon a factual report and they chose to use it. But evidently in some cases that's not the case. So anyway.
To guarantee that's happening by including that language in the prepackaged report.
Yeah, I don't, look, oh, you mean a disclosure? I'm George W. Bush and I...
Well, some way to make sure it couldn't air without the disclosure that you believe is so vital.
Ken, I mean, there's a procedure that we're going to follow, and the local stations ought to, if there's a deep concern about that, ought to tell their viewers what they're watching.
And Darren, now we have, in modern day times, we have the migrant crisis going on with the Syrian refugees. And we've seen the family where the husband threw the wife and or his wife and daughter or son down on the train tracks.
Little baby almost cracked the baby's head.
Yeah, and that was a big news release. They had photos of it everywhere.
BBC, Reuters, all across Europe.
Like, this is how people are treating the migrants. And he did that to his own wife just to be a spectacle.
He waited until he saw the cameras, and then you see him, how he reacted.
Then reacted. And now you've got these migrant kids, these kids that they're coaching into just being, playing the refugee role.
Yeah, take a look at this young kid who was tear gassed, or maybe he was pepper sprayed by the evil anti-immigrant police in Hungary. This photo appeared in newspapers and television all throughout Europe, and this is to get you to feel bad and accept the tsunami of migrants that is pouring into your country and into your neighborhood. Don't believe the hype, because much of what you are seeing on television and in the newspapers is a total fraud. Check it out.
So pulling the heartstrings of Americans and people worldwide to shove immigrants into our face and basically take down the standard of living of everybody around us. Now, going to the NFL. Here it is from Business Insider. Earlier last year, this is in May, the Pentagon paid 14 NFL teams $5.4 million to salute the troops. But by the end of the season, in November, it was up to $6.8 million of taxpayer money to pro sports teams for military tributes. And that's our tax money being paid to teams who don't pay their own taxes.
And this is paid patriotism.
Right.
That's what this is. So can you imagine? And so a lot of that, a moment of silence, and then you see the salute to the troops, and you see the jets flying over the stadium. That's paid for. Right?
All controlled. It's all controlled, one big control. And here's Senator Jeff Blake talking about this very same issue.
When everybody assumes when you have these feel-good moments, these salutes, that it's because the NFL team just felt good about the military or about service, and then to find out now it's really the taxpayers paying for that, that just leaves you with an empty feeling.
Darren McBreen, thanks for joining me. And don't forget, you out there watching this on YouTube, become a member of PrisonPlanet.tv. It supports everything you see here. The lights, the camera, the action, everything is all supported by your membership, which you can share with up to 20 people. So become a member today. And I do believe we have a visitor.
Jeez.
Oh, my God.
Hi there. How's it going?
Hey, Hillary. No, shouldn't you be getting ready for a debate?
Well, I don't know if you guys heard from Bernie or not, but I did hide his car. So I saw some of his guys on his team looking for it. I blew it up. It's on fire, so he's not getting there. So I got plenty of time to make it out there to the debate.
She Benghazi'd Bernie Sanders' car. Well, good luck. It's surely going to be a sideshow tonight with you and Bernie tussling together. Basically, issues of no significance. I can't wait to see how you're.
Well, I'm kind of upset. I was going to wear a pearl necklace, but it looks like Bill Clinton already gave it to someone.
Well, and with that, that's the end of our show, folks. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on the InfoWars Nightly News.
No one will go to the New York Times or care that it's even admitted that the government's hatching most of the terror plots. Or people will say, what are you doing? Endorsing radical Islam, saying it doesn't exist? I didn't say that. I said our criminal government is arming them, aiding and abetting them, protecting them to attack and kill us so they can take our freedoms. That's what I said.
Never water yourself down just because someone can't handle you at 100 proof. It's the Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, Glenn Beck, and everybody else that runs around claiming that I'm saying there aren't any real Muslim terrorists. That's a load of crud, and you know it. Knockout is back. If you want a product that has 10 known ingredients that naturally get your body to relax, your brain to relax, so you get deep, restful sleep, Knockout's it. InfoWarsLife.com. L-theanine, hops flower extract, lemon balm extract, valerian root extract, chamomile flower extract, L-tryptophan extract, melatonin, and more. All organic, all the natural sources. It's the same price as leading brands of melatonin that are 3 milligrams a piece. It has 3 milligrams, the standard recommended dose for an adult, and it just synergistically puts everything in there. InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com, or call 888-253-3139.
You are watching the InfoWars Nightly News, which airs 7 p.m. Central at InfoWarsNews.com. And your support is helping us defend liberty worldwide.